It looked like it's happening. Angel Reese is asking out of Chicago already.
Angel Reese officially puts the Chicago Sky on notice. We're not doing the same thing this offseason that we did last offseason. Stop bringing me bums to play with.
Angel Reese just told the Chicago Tribune she's not settling for another year like this one and demanded the Sky bring in the league's top players to surround her. Bold statement, right? But here's the catch: she leads the league in turnovers despite missing weeks of action and still struggles to finish the simplest plays at the rim. To make matters worse, she's now picked up a suspension. Reese might be calling for a roster overhaul, but maybe it's her the Sky need to rethink. Could Angel Reese be the biggest overhype in WNBA history? One thing's for sure, she's no Caitlin Clark. Oh, what do you think? Are you rolling with Clark, the baby goat, or Reese, the baby giraffe? Drop your take in the comments. Let's get it.
I'm bringing me these players. I want the best of the best. I want the upper echelon.
Angel Reese is fed up. She's tired of the losing. She's tired of being the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. She is fed up with the Chicago Sky, and it looks like Angel Reese wants out. It looks like she wants.
Imagine demanding your teammates be replaced, only to become the one your own franchise might be ready to cut loose. That's exactly the mess Angel Reese walked into after her comments to the Chicago Tribune. She wasn't subtle either. Reese flat out declared she wasn't settling for another season like this one, insisting that adding good players and great players was non-negotiable for her future in Chicago. But instead of sounding like a true franchise cornerstone ready to grow with her squad, she came off more like a diva looking to gut her own roster on record.
See what Angel Reese had to say. I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. Oh boy. Reese told the Tribune, we have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help to get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. So it's going to be very, very important this offseason to make sure we attract the best of the best, because we can't settle for what we have this year. Overhaul this roster.
The issue is, that interview didn't just ruffle a few feathers, it reportedly infuriated her teammates and even veterans across the league. Word is, the Sky had to organize a full-on locker room sit-down just to deal with the fallout. That's not how a healthy team operates. That's damage control. Think about it. You haven't even proven yourself yet, and suddenly half the roster needs a meeting because of what came out of your mouth. That's not leadership. That's dysfunction.
So it's that multiple lead sources told Front Office Sports that the entire team has seen Angel Reese comments that teammates are unhappy with the direct attacks. A team meeting is planned at which players are expected to address Reese directly.
Of all Reese's comments, the ugliest shot landed on Courtney Vandersloot. Despite Vandersloot being sidelined with an ACL injury, Reese brushed her aside in dismissive terms, hinting she was too old to be part of the Sky's present or future. And that cut deep because Vandersloot isn't just another name on the roster. She's a respected veteran, a champion, and one of the greatest floor generals the league has ever seen. Tossing her into the dust so casually doesn't just disrespect Vandersloot. It alienates the very veterans still grinding in this league, the ones who know she's earned every ounce of her respect.
Can't rely on Courtney to come back at that age that she's at, Reese said. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Courtney Vandersloot, by the way, two-time WNBA champion, 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-WNBA first team, left the New York Liberty, a championship caliber team, to come help out the Chicago. Oh, damn. Oh, damn, oh, dang, oh, damn. It's all right, Courtney.
And here's where the irony kicks in. The Chicago front office had already bent over backwards to build around Reese. Let's not forget they gave up Sonia Citron, who's not only in the thick of the Rookie of the Year race but also became an all-star in her very first season, just to bring in Ariel Atkins. That was supposed to be the move, the proven talent to give Reese the winning help she demanded. But instead of showing gratitude, she acted like the roster and staff were never good enough. You can't accuse the front office of not trying when they literally sacrificed a potential franchise cornerstone just to cater to you.
It's looking spooky in Chicago. Instead, Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Berman or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading them to the leading the playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky roster with WNBA championship experience. We are aware of it, Marsh stated. We are addressing.
It would have been bad enough if Reese had only taken shots at the vets. But she didn't stop there. Even younger teammates like Haley Van Lith caught strays, with Reese implying the whole squad was either too old, too mid, or too soft. The result, veterans felt disrespected. Younger players felt dismissed. And the one person who was supposed to unify the locker room suddenly became the common enemy. Reese wanted to spark a rally. Instead, she turned all the frustration inward right at herself.
Many great players, and I don't know what that will attract that. Maybe the practice facility will attract that. We'll see. But I think the priority is being able to convince free agents that this is an organization that is going in the right direction. I think, honestly, it would be a leap of faith for a great player to come here and show that this is something that they want to be a part of, and we can bring that championship mentality. A leap of faith to think that a great player would want to come to Chicago. Oh, boy.
And when you line up her on-court impact alongside all this drama, it's easy to see why the power play blew up in her face. If you're going to put yourself above the rest of the roster, you'd better back it up with dominance. Instead, Reese became the one out of rhythm, the piece that didn't fit into the very system she wanted to reshape. In other words, the vision she imagined may have only highlighted a truth Chicago didn't want to admit. The biggest problem isn't the roster she trashed, it might be Angel Reese herself. And the sting. While she kept demanding upgrades and great players, she couldn't even secure one of the game's most basic responsibilities: keeping the ball in her own hands.
It's not all her fault. Her teammates stink. They gotta catch that, right? Right! Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Scooby, put down the butter. Butter pecan! Bang! This time of the year's the best. You got pumpkin spice football and Angel Reese layups. Bang! Final play of the game, Angel Reese clutch gene. Womp, womp, womp. That's my Barbie.
What if the very player demanding a roster overhaul was actually the one holding her own team back? That's the reality with Angel Reese. On paper, her numbers look decent, around 14 to 15 points per game with double-digit rebounds. Solid, right? But a closer look tells a different story. Reese is leading the entire WNBA in turnovers, despite missing weeks of action with injury. Let that sink in. She played fewer minutes than most stars, sat out games, and still coughed up the ball more than anyone else. That's not dominance. That's careless basketball.
For you, 20% of the time, Angel Reese gets her shot blocked inside of 9 feet. And 100% of the time, she's doggy doo-doo. Burn! Give it to the lady in orange. Uh-oh, you're out. Simon didn't say. 101 turnovers in 26 games for our 2K cover. She's a stat stuffer. Bang! At least she always brings the boom. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bang!
Turnovers happen when a player forces the game, but with Reese, it wasn't just about aggression. It exposed impatience, poor decision-making, and an inability to stay composed under pressure. And the problems didn't stop there. Discipline became another weak spot. Instead of being the steady presence a franchise cornerstone is supposed to be, Reese kept jawing at referees, losing her composure, and piling up whistles that hurt her own team. She hit that threshold way too fast, picking up her 8th technical foul of the season, which by league rule triggered an automatic 1-game suspension.
And watching the bottom of your screen. The contact by Reese.
You can see Angel's right hand got Aaliyah Edwards on the head. And if they do, Lisa, I'm okay with that too, because I think you have to officiate these teams very tightly.
So it'll be a technical foul on Angel.
And that suspension? It didn't land on some random Tuesday. It came right before a marquee matchup with the Indiana Fever, a game fans had circled for weeks, with the league itself hyping up the Sky Fever rivalry. But instead of taking the court, Reese sidelined herself. Not because of injury, not because of rest, but because she struck Aaliyah Edwards in the head on a rebound play. Intentional or not, the referees saw enough to make the call, and the league had no choice but to enforce the suspension. That wasn't just a personal embarrassment, it was a direct hit to her own team at the worst possible moment.
Angel Reese, oh damn, has been assessed with 8 technical fouls, and she will be suspended for Friday game unless it is rescinded. And I'm telling you right now, look, he said it best, her attitude. That mug ain't getting rescinded. Angel Reese has struck out again.
And the irony here is impossible to ignore. The Chicago Sky, a team supposedly built around Reese, often looked sharper and more energized when she wasn't on the floor. The ball moved cleaner. The defense tightened. And at times, they even pulled out wins without her. That's completely backwards. A true star is supposed to raise a team's ceiling. In Reese's case, the less she played, the better her team seemed to function, a franchise player in reverse. Ask Sky fans if Reese feels like the foundation for the future, and many would tell you it's more like being stuck with an anchor weighing them down. She wanted to prove she was the centerpiece, but the results told another story. What good are 15 points and 12 rebounds if they're buried under sloppy turnovers, endless arguments with refs, and suspensions at the worst possible moments? Watching Reese wasn't watching a savior. It was watching a liability, one you couldn't count on when the season hit its most critical points.